So here's how I've broken down every single step in Grumo Media that it takes to create one of our demo videos. And I have 56 steps. And they're in this Google Docs spreadsheet. And I did this once I figured out the whole system. I broke it down, and originally I was doing all these steps myself. So the next step, so you have to document, delegate, and automate, right? So you have to figure out what of these steps can I delegate. Now, what I did, I have several columns here. The first one is I wanted to know how difficult was each of these steps. So, and I will go from 1 to 5. So 1 is a very, very easy thing to do. It doesn't require like a lot of skills to do it. It's very easy to document. Anybody basically can do it. I can hire a high school student and basically they could do it. A 5 is something that a high skilled worker with experience and time only can do. And then in between, different ranges of skill. This is important to know because then you can see here, just by glancing at this with this color system, what are the high value difficult things to do, right? And they're gonna be typically crucial on delivering the best possible product. Other things are more like administrative tasks. But for example, chat with the client about the project. This is a sales call. This is very important. You need somebody that is really good, that understands the system very well, that is good at sales, that can answer all the questions that the client has, because a big factor on the client deciding to work with us or not depends on that sales call. So originally I was doing all of them, but when I hire other people, I had to coach them in telling them, well, first of all, this is how the business works. This is what we can do. This is what we cannot do. This is how long it takes, how much it costs to do one of these videos, and also they had some experience on doing sales calls in order to close some of these leads, to get them excited about working with us, to be able to address any of the concerns and answer other questions. This is a high skilled position and task, therefore has a 5. Then writing a script is fundamental for being able to have a good video. Record the voiceover, you need a really good voiceover artist. Creating the storyboard, the illustrations, the animations, the sound effects, all of those ones are crucial. Everything else, everything that is 2, they're simpler things. So I know that if I'm going to delegate these things that are 2s, I could either do them myself because maybe they're very simple and they don't take a lot of time, or I could hire somebody and this person doesn't have to be extremely skillful as long as I just document what they have to do. But now I have an overall business in just one look of my entire business processes, and that's really useful. Now the next step I do is, obviously some of these things I'm going to start delegating. So I have the owner column, which is which position in the company is going to do exactly what. So now in this case, the GR stands from Grumo, which is the owner of the business, me. So right now in this case, nowadays, I receive all the emails, all the leads. I filter them, but then after that, I send those emails to the salesperson. And maybe have a note or two because maybe somebody that we worked with before, and then the salesperson takes over and does the follow-up call, and then he tries to close the lead and updates the contact, the CRM system, and all of that. Then we get the down payment, and I check that the writer writes the script, the project manager gets the script approved, the voiceover artist VA does the voiceover, the animator does the animation. Now the project manager has to do several things, which is getting the storyboard approved, find an animator. We don't have the right animator for this type of style of animation. Meet the animator, negotiate the payment with the animator, get the animator to sign a contractor's contract, and then get the illustrations from the animator, get the illustrations approved. All of those things. So every single step is one step that needs to be done in order to produce the final product, and I have to decide who is going to do that. Now I take a look at this and I see all the people that I need to hire. It's a very small studio, so there's for each animation there are not that many people. There's anywhere from 3 to 4 people. It's either me, a writer, an animator, and a sound designer. That's 4 people. Sometimes the animator can do the sound design himself. Sometimes I do the voiceover because originally I did the voiceover, and now still people ask for me to do the voiceover. But there you go. I start thinking in terms of how can I delegate some of these tasks so I can take more work, because originally I used to do all the animations, and realistically I only could do 1 or 2 animations a month. Now we can do anywhere from 10 to 20 if necessary. Uh, and then departments. Now this is just for showing purposes, but now let's say you're growing bigger than this, so you're going to start thinking in terms of not just people but departments. So what department all these tasks would fall within, right? So all the sales stuff within the sales department. Once we receive the down payment, that will be the accounting department, and everything related to creating the product, which in our case is producing these animations, will be the production department. We'll have the animators, the illustrators, the sound designers as part of that department. Then we have to pay all of these people. So in this case, contractors get paid by the accounting department, which in my little company is just me writing the checks and sending, collecting the invoices and paying people either via wire transfer or PayPal. Then for marketing, I do a lot of the marketing myself. But this on a bigger company would be a person or a team of people that figure out ways of getting attention and driving more traffic to the website and more leads for our salespeople. And then we collect or we check for profit on. We have to see how the business is performing and see, okay, have we made any money? Have we grown the business? And I do that myself right now. But in theory, you could have an accounting department telling you, okay, this is the balance sheet for this quarter, and this is the profit and loss statement, and all of those things. And then finally, we do a lot of follow-up just to make sure that the clients are happy and whether they want more videos, right? And finally, well, not finally yet, once you have all these steps, well, have you documented them? So in my case, all the steps are documented. This means that for every single step, I sat down on the Grumo Bible and I explained what I think is the best way to perform that step. So when we receive the lead via email, what do we do? Do we respond via email with an autoresponder? Do we create a custom answer for each lead that it comes? Do we set up a sales call right away? What is the best way of replying to different types of requests? What if they ask for a live action video? We don't do those. We just send them, sorry, we don't do those. Or do we point them to a specific other resources or other studios that can do that? There's many things. For every single interaction with the client, it's very important to think how you can deliver the best value. So even if you cannot do what they're asking to do, you can tell them, have a good interaction with you, and you can tell them other resources. Then every single thing, send budget estimate for approval. Okay, that's the salesperson. How do you do that? How do you decide how much a video costs? So I have to document. There are 2 main variables: is the complexity of the video and the duration of the video. So in our case, the complexity means we have 3 levels of complexity. So I have to come up with those 3 levels and define them. Okay, so stick drawing with very little colors, and we have like several videos that represent that type of style cost so much. If you want something more complex with more complex illustrations and more time spent on concept development, this is how much it's gonna cost. These are the styles that representative of that type of video, etc., etc. I have to write those down. So when I hire the salesperson, he knows what to say to the client or how to set up a budget. Writing a script, this is a fundamental thing on my business. The script is the base of a successful video. So not only I documented all of this, I actually have an entire course where I teach people how to do this professionally, and how we've done it for several years. So when a writer comes in, I tell them these are the parameters that we use. This is the criteria that we use to determine when we have a really good script. Those are documented as well. As you can see, every single step can be documented. And once they're there, it makes your life so much easier once you bring somebody on board. All they have to do is go to this Bible and read it. And if they have any questions, well, then you update the Bible. And finally, is it automated? It is something that you can automate. Now, on a service-based type of business, automation is difficult because you really rely on people's skills that are not, there are not computers nowadays that can do this, to do a lot of these things, right? Specifically on a creative type of work. But a little bit of the sales leads process can be automated, right? So when I get an email, I can set up an automatic autoresponder. That automatic also at the same time that I send the email replying to the new lead, I can update my CRM system, and so I can keep following up on this lead using the CRM system, right? But that's pretty much it. I mean, the things that I can automate in my business are not that many. Update, reply, so basically an autoresponder at the beginning. After that, more than automation is coming up with systems in order to track all of these steps. A kind of like project management system that I show you what I'm using. I've used lots of project management systems before. I actually built my own before I started Grumo Media, and I eventually ended up using just spreadsheets, and I'll show you that why, to me, they've been the best solution for this size of business. Once you start growing bigger, they're not scalable. They're hard to scale. Although you'll be surprised that some fairly large businesses, how much they rely on spreadsheets is mind-blowing. But if you know how to use them, they're extremely powerful. As you can see, I use them absolutely for everything, and I am extremely happy about it. Hey, did you enjoy this video? If you want to see more like this, just subscribe here. If you want a free gift, click here. Yeah. Which one is going to be the one you click?